Good morning, friends. It's Wednesday, September 8th. I hope you are doing well. I have quite a bit to cover this morning, so I want to get right at it. The first thing is just to share some good news that the preschool has started this week. Yesterday was the first day for a group of children, and today is another day for the first day in a different group of children. So please pray for the staff, the kids, the families who are dropping their children off, some for the very first time in this school setting. It's exciting to go over and see the energy and to see the smiles on their faces, and of course a few tears of anxiety and separation, but thanks be to God for the preschool and the ministry of Christ that happens through them. This Sunday is a big day for Elfenwild Church. We have Rally Day, so we worship at 8:30 and 11:10. We hope that you will come and be a part of worship, but also in the Sunday school hour, we'll do an outside activity. The children and family ministry teams have provided for us a breakfast that will be served outdoors down where we have held the outdoor worship. And so we're inviting you to bring your chairs with you for Sunday school hour and Rally Day. We will be praying for our students and families and educators. The children will all receive a backpack tag so that they can remember when they're going to school that they go with God and God goes with them. So please come and be a part of Rally Day this Sunday. Also, if you would note on the printed materials that are connected with this video and e-news, there is a weekend to remember, which is a marriage weekend put on by a group called Family Life. Van and I have gone to it twice. We have taken people from the church. We're not sure we're going this year or not, but we invite you to consider it. We may, in fact, go on the weekend again. It's in Cranberry here in Pittsburgh. And there is a special going on right now, 50% off of registration. So if you wanted to go onto the Family Life website and look up Pittsburgh Weekend to Remember, there's one in October and one in November. And if you put in the church code Elfenwild PCA, then that will give you a 50% discount. If you miss this discount time and you still want to go, please reach out to me. I have some complimentary passes for people to go and some other ways that we can make that work for you. So let me encourage you to set aside a weekend in October and November to be with your husband or your wife and to work on being intentional in your relationship together. It's really a wonderful weekend. I think you would enjoy it. It's not only a respite, but it's also educational and sort of intentional about spending time investing in one another. I wanted to just lift up to you a number of things to pray about because there's a lot going on in our lives these days. In no particular order, let me just lay out some things that in the last week or 10 days I've been talking with people about and praying for them about as well. One is job changes and transitions. Several of our members are in the midst of that. Some are retiring, some are looking for new positions, some are interviewing. So please pray for those folks. What a crazy time to be making a change in these days, but it's happening, and I ask you to pray for those folks. Also, there are families in our congregation and certainly in our community who are dealing with people who have COVID, from young children to grandparents and everything in between. Some are vaccinated, some are not. Obviously, the young children are not. So there's a level of concern in all of those situations. So I ask you to pray for peace and for understanding and for safety and protection for those who are dealing with the virus. Thirdly, there are just regular ongoing health concerns that people have. People that are struggling with disease or cancer, others who are having heart issues or ongoing chronic illness. And so I invite you to pray for those folks also. Also for Nicole Lang and her family. as they go to the funeral for her mother this week to celebrate her life. And her mom was a very special woman of God, and it was a sudden loss in some ways. But I ask you to pray for the Langs and others who are grieving the death of loved ones or other losses in their life as well. I ask you to pray for Ruth Ann Reed, who tomorrow moves from her home of many, many years down to Asbury Heights in the South Hills to be closer to her sons. And she's looking forward to that. It's a great move, but it's a change for her and for us, as we will miss seeing Ruth Ann as a part of our church family as well. There are several families who are expecting children, are going through pregnancy, and that's exciting. There are several families who in this past few months have delivered children, and their families are growing, and that's exciting. And I always remember when I mentioned that good news that there are others whom we love and care for who have lost a child or miscarried or can't get pregnant. And so I always ask you to remember to pray for those families as well. As you can tell, there's just a lot that's going on, and we all have stories, and there are a lot of things that are happening in our lives. So to be a people of prayer is perhaps our greatest calling and our greatest privilege, not just to pray for ourselves, but to pray for one another. So let me encourage you to do that. I wanted to just sort of conclude this video with a verse that keeps coming back to mind for me as we deal with all of these unknowns, as we live into life where we don't have all the answers, when we want to figure it all out, and we want to have some belief that we have a little bit of control. And I think sometimes that's an illusion for us, but it's good for us to remember what God says about us in those times, or to us to instruct us in those times. And this simply comes from Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. You may know this verse. It's one of my favorites, and I'm just reminded all the time when I feel like I need to know everything or be in control of everything. These verses ring true for me. And the Word of God says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, the Lord, and He will make your paths straight." I love that phrase. Trust in the Lord. Do not lean on your own understanding. In other words, when I don't understand, when I can't figure it out, when I don't have the answers, I lean upon God. I trust in Him. And that word trust is just full of significance and meaning. It's a deep word. What does it mean to trust the Lord? It means to put your faith in Him and the knowledge that He has, not the knowledge that you or I have. And to trust that He is good and sovereign, that we're not always good and we're certainly not sovereign. The very next verse simply says this: "Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord." So let me encourage you, when you feel out of control, the reality is God is the one who's in control. When you don't have all the answers, turn to the Lord, for He has deep understanding, and He is good and wants what's best for you and for me. So I hope you're doing well. I do look forward to seeing you on Sundays, either in person or online. We will continue to communicate with you about the things that are happening. All the fall schedule is connected to this video tonight. Choirs, Sunday school classes, youth groups, everything is kicking off. Please come if you are able and comfortable and ready to have that time together again. I realize that the greatest, perhaps, challenge for us in these days is the isolation. So let's find ways, creative ways, to not feel alone and to be separate from one another. But let's come together, even if it's on the phone, even if it's outside, even if it's a visit with distance between us, or if it's coming to worship or another activity or program, we would love to be together with you. If we can do anything for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Give us a text, an email, a phone call. We miss you. We love you. Take care. Have a great day. God bless.